Hello everyone, welcome to our first playthrough of Horace. I just seen this game on Steam and it looks cool as hell. We don't have a Twitch panel up for it yet. I guess they haven't had time to do it since it's so fresh, but we're gonna go ahead and jump on our own channel and put it out there for you guys, you know? Let's do this. I'm stoked. Anyway, here we go, y'all. Oh yeah, by the way, we got a new green screen. Okay. Alright, what's up? Let's turn on this screen. Let's see if it works. I got it for like 11 bucks. And my girl stitched it up for me. God bless and love, Fun Bun. We're gonna play it already. Come on, load. Loading, loading, loading. Just wanted to switch up the content a little bit. Have some different kind of fun. I did promise. Okay, here we go. Okay. Back at it again. The first 3 minutes and I was like, man, I gotta stream this. It didn't look like much for being the price it was. It's pretty cheap. I think it was like around 15 bucks on Steam. But man, initiating the Horace. What's up, Gemma? I know, I can't wait till they actually put one on. Oh, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I gotta calibrate all this stuff still. Oh, it might freeze now. Let me see if it worked.
Ouch! Hurt that.
Okay, here we go. Now we're at the tutorial.
And so, I was born. The first people I remember seeing were the old man, the old lady, and their daughter, Heather. After they'd said hello, the old man powered me down so he could install some software. I could tell they were nice people. The old man didn't give me a silly voice or stupid personality. And the old lady didn't dress me like a clown. Although for some reason, Heather really didn't like me. Once I'd had time to get used to walking, the old man asked me to dash from one end of the room to the other.
Hey babe, would you sound check me? Or from the PS4, whichever. Oh, you are? You're streaming too? That's tight. Thank you. That's my fiance, soon-to-be wife. We're just hanging out today.
Next, the old man spent a couple of hours building some wooden platforms. He said he wanted me to jump up them, but I must admit, I was scared. It wasn't until I saw Heather and her mother happily climbing up them that I decided it might be okay.
So we gotta jump. Rules for jump. We're jumping over basketball hoops and gaps.
The old man then rearranged the platforms. He told me to try to reach the other end of the
He set
room
up a
without
whole
touching
platform.
the floor. Heather said the floor's made of lava. But when I smiled at her, she just frowned and looked away. The old lady arranged some pillows and blankets. She said it was in case I fell, but I think she just wanted it to look more like lava.
That's cool. So I'm assuming we can't step on the pillows because it's lava. Will he just bounce off lava? No, he will burn. He will crash and burn. Good? Okay. No? That'd be pretty cool. Be able to test my widget that way. Okay, let's try to like not jump on the pillows that will burn us alive. Oh, that was sick. I didn't even do the running jump. There you go.
When I reached the other side, the old man just smiled and said, "That'll do, for now."
That'll do, pig. He kind of does. He looks like a robot pig. That's kind of mean, but yeah. Not really. Oh, no, not at all, fun bud. You can host me anytime.
A couple of days after those first lessons, the family had a big meal, and I was introduced to everyone else. The professor was the old man's brother. He was very quiet, and always seemed to just kind of stare at me. He had lived with the old man for 5 years. The house was so huge they barely saw each other. He preferred instead to stay in his room, leaving everything up to his butler, Mr. Deck, as he insisted everyone call him, although the professor always called him Anton. For a while, he called me the yellow bastard. But the old man made him stop, as he thought it sounded racist.
Wow.
Mr. Silton was the old man's driver. Before he worked here, he'd gotten in with some bad people and was the driver in a post office robbery. Although it all went wrong for some reason, Mr. Silton showed me a video of his band. I'm sure some people must like it, but I just found it terrifying.
Poor guy. Okay, whoa, that's
Then
scary.
there was Alice. She was the cook. She was a nice old lady. When she was younger, she had been a TV chef. Then, years later, she had a small part in Coronation Street. Mr. Silton said, before she worked for the old man, Alice was quite a hoarder. She kept old newspapers and bicycles. And something about a pool in a shoebox.
Oh dang, that lady's holding a pool in a shoebox.
The next morning, the old man gathered everyone together to show them what I was capable of. What else does he do? Asked Mr. Silton. The old man smiled. He can help around the house. Could he help me with my newspaper collecting? Asked Alice. I'm not sure that's a good idea, said the old lady, but he can do all sorts of jobs. Yeah, said Mr. Silton, shove a stick up his ass and he can do Deck's job.
Oh dang.
Now, said the old man,
He clowned
we
him.
have company,
Why'd he do that
pointing to some important-looking people. Two large men, both called Gary, set up what the old man referred to as lasers. He said again, I should try to get from one end of the room to the other, but I shouldn't be worried, as I had a special chip which meant no matter how damaged I was, I couldn't die. He said it was like Infinite Lies in a video game. But when he realized I didn't understand, he said he would explain another time.
Okay. I like it. Oh my goodness. Oh. Okay. No, that's pretty good graphics right there. Even for a bit. Mario style. You guys like that, huh? Yeah.
Everybody clapped, except the important-looking men. Not exactly a cold, calculated killer, is it? Said the man in black. The man in grey laughed. What kind of artificial intelligence was that? He asked. Move right, unless there's something in the way. Okay, said the old man. He turned to me and whispered, they're going to make it quite a bit tougher, but I'm sure you'll be fine.
I'm sure you'll be fine. He's like, they ain't lying pillows everywhere. Just like, oh my goodness. Whoa. Alright. Come on. Oh, couldn't jump it that way. I'm wondering if I'll fall into nothing. Oh no, the duck area. Yes. Oh. This little guy can parkour.
The Garys then rearranged the room one last time. The old man smiled. Now, there's no need to look so glum, he said. I'm still happy with everything you've done today. So this time, I was determined to do him proud.
Okay. I like these thunder things. That game music is very loud. Let me see if I can kill something just a bit. See what happens. I did the first part of stream. Okay. Alright.
The old man's friends actually seemed quite happy when I made it through. "We might have a winner after all," said the man in black. "It's no Killbot 3000, but you can almost see the fire in its eyes."
Killbot 3000.
A couple of days later, the old lady said she had a surprise for me. My own room. She also wanted to play me some music. I wasn't sure after what Mr. Silton had shown me.
Oh, that's how I feel right now. That's kombucha.
As if music wasn't amazing enough, the old lady then bought me a television set. I couldn't believe what I saw. I watched everything I could. Comedy, drama, horror, sci-fi. Anything anyone wanted to watch I would happily watch with them. Then one day, the old man set up a small box. He plugged some cables into the television and said, "This is what I meant when I said video games." I played games at every chance I could. I took on everyone. I was unstoppable. I had enjoyed music, film, and television. But to me, video games really were the highest art form.
I think I gotta turn up the voice just a bit. It sounds a little low on my ears. Table tennis. Is that me? Okay. We're playing Pong. Well, this has been a while. It's very sensitive. Oh, yeah, it's pretty good. Oh! You ain't gonna beat Horace, man. Oh! Yeah, I told you. Come on. I think you threw that one. Oh, he got me. Oh, twice in one. That's what I get. Oh. Yeah.
Heather's birthday was a couple of months later. Her mum and dad had bought her a camera and arranged a day out by the sea so that Heather could take some photos, although I really don't think she wanted any pictures of me. When the old man asked the professor if he wanted to go, he frowned and said, "I can't believe you want to spend time with that thing. It could destroy the world." I wasn't sure what he meant, but the old man just smiled and said, "That's what you said about the Game Boy. Anton, how about you?" "I don't think so," said Mr. Deck. "The last time I got in that
Thanks for
car,
hosting.
Barry
Bye-bye.
crashed us into a branch of Woolworths. I never would have gone into Woolworths of my own accord." The old man explained that the car was old and the brakes had failed, but Mr. Deck was having none of it. So Mr. Silton drove, and Alice came along for the fresh air.
These graphics, though, with this 8-bit is amazing. I love it.
I enjoyed being outside. Although, the old lady kept telling me to be careful of the rickety old walkways. It felt like she was telling me off, but I think she was just concerned. As the old man and I stood on the cliff tops, I could see something in the distance. I wasn't sure what it was, so I asked the old man. He said it was a battleship that had sunk in the 1940s. But he looked so sad when he spoke about war. I didn't see what happened, but the metal platform Heather was climbing on had collapsed. She was safe, even if the rocks she was on looked very dangerous. The tide was rising, and we didn't know how long the Coast Guard was going to be, so I offered to climb down and get her. The old man agreed, but said I should be careful, as Heather doesn't have infinite lives, like I do.
Okay. We have infinite lives. It's like, for real? Let's go back to audio. Cutscene volume can be a little up there. Let's try it. Can't do like no karate or nothing right now. All you can do is crouch and that was gonna be, oh yeah, for all day, yeah. Sorry. I know. I wish I could run multiple platforms for this game. That would be so awesome. But, you know. So I get, I'm gonna have to drown. Oh no! The rocks regrew from the water. That was cool. All right. They're just like, nope, you're gonna have to die now. And you said, little girl.
Heather was unconscious, and her leg was broken, so I picked her up as gently as I could. I decided it would be best if I didn't run the rest of the way.
So now we have to carry. Oh yeah, how should I get back up? It's not like they followed me here. We're still just doing something. I'm very fast. Can't even run at all. Shut up. You know that feeling when you're pushing your controller, you're pressing one button and you keep tapping the other with the back. Just to keep yourself going. Oh, we did it. Playing Horace, son. I'm hanging out with my kid right now. Alright.
An ambulance had arrived by the time I had made it back to the cliff top. The medics made sure Heather was okay, and then took her off to hospital. A few days later, we all went to see how she was doing. She was fine, but would have to wear the cast for a couple of months.
She was fine. Alright, hero robots. They don't always have to massacre people.
Once Heather got to know me, we became good friends. We enjoyed the same films and TV. She was also annoyingly good at some of my favorite games. After a while, she became very interested in how I worked. Soon she knew as much about me as the old man did, if not more. We spent the next couple of months visiting other countries, as when it came to teaching me things, the old man always liked to pick interesting locations. He had explained the basics of mathematics to me at the Great Pyramid of Egypt.
Oh yeah, they went to Egypt.
taught me history in the dead of night, surrounded by mysterious giant stones,
Spaghetti.
and even showed me science in action high up in a hot air balloon.
Yes, sir?
This is why I was surprised when the old man took me to a restaurant. It was nice, but it seemed very somber compared to the previous grand locations. He said he just wanted to chat, and this was nice and quiet. Plus it was his favorite place to eat. We talked about life, the universe, Douglas Adams, everything really. When I asked him why were we here, why did we exist,
Douglas
he just
Adams.
smiled and said, life is like a game, just don't expect to be finished anytime soon. When I looked puzzled, he said, well, everyone should have a purpose. So I asked him, what's my purpose? He thought for a bit, then said, so you want to be a real boy? Which just confused me even more. Eventually the old man said, for now, I want you to help clean things around the house. I must have looked unimpressed, as he then said, okay, I want you to clean 1,000,000 things. It didn't sound like the meaning of life, but I suppose you've got to start somewhere.
He took him serious too.
The next day, the old man said he wanted to install some more software, so he powered me down. When I came to, he said Mr. Silton had a joke for me, and that I should pull his finger. I don't think I got the joke, so the old man powered me down again. This time when I pulled Mr. Silton's finger,
Coco.
I got the joke, but it wasn't very funny.
Coco.
The old man then explained that he had installed a special chip which allowed me to clean away anything that was broken. He said it also tells me how many things are nearby, and how many smaller things are in a bigger thing. It all sounded very complicated, but he said all I really had to do was pause, and it would bring up all the information I needed. He then said he wanted me to find and clean all of the items in the room. He told me there would be some chains to climb, but that would be nice and easy, as I just had to press up. He then finished by saying, when I had collected all the items, I should come back here.
I gotta check something real quick. I think my sound quality in my ears okay. Just doesn't sound great. Let me see what happens there. All right, let's try to go with that. Oh, look, we're collecting paper, trash, things. Oh, the audio on this thing is amazingly loud. Okay, let's try that. Oh, trash. Whoa. That's a lot of sound effects. Oh, yep. We gotta climb the chains. Silly me. He's like, yeah, come on, keep going, keep going. They don't even say nothing. They just stare at me and laugh. Okay. Oh. Nah, that's cool. Man, this one is hardcore.
Oh, the doggy.
Yeah, I see the doggy. What's going on with that? Oh, I collected the entire card. Okay. Is that it? Is that all the junk? I don't see any more junk. Oh, wait. Oh, I should have been. Oh, strange that he runs like Naruto.
The old man then asked the old lady Heather and I to follow him outside. I was happy too, as it was a lovely hot day. The old man said he was worried that Alice had been hoarding again. She had filled up a small barn with old bicycles and newspapers. Heather said this would be a perfect chance to properly test my new powers. The old man thought for a second, then said, using the steptoe chip, I should find and clean at least 300 things. When we explained to Alice what we wanted to do, she seemed scared. But after the old lady kindly explained that, well, the barn was starting to smell, she said it would be okay. One last thing, said the old man, if you want to use a door,
If you want to use the door, you have to press Y resume.
just push up. When I was about to enter the old barn, Mr. Silton said he had seen some mushrooms growing inside. He asked me to give him any that I found. He then winked, but I wasn't sure why.
Oh, nice. Got an achievement. Got a Steam. I still feel like that is very loud. Try something else. Oh, the software. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. That's how loud I am. Let me check my properties. Okay. Well, that sounds a little better. Let's see where that goes. You know, trying to get that perfect sound quality. Alright. Where do you want me to run now? You want me to run over this water? No. What happened, son? Oh yeah, did he get his head bumped? My son likes to say the word, he bumped his head a lot. Should have hopped his neck. Yeah. Oh, well, that didn't work out. Nope. I completely missed what I was supposed to do. Oh, I'm supposed to go. Yeah, that makes sense. Go around. And there's the trash. I want all this trash. Trash. I'm guessing this is a Doors game here. Not bad. I am really impressed with the bits that the game trash. Oh, it got me. Oh, no, I was asking for that. Oh. No, you gotta wait for this thing. Maybe I don't need to run. Well, that was too early. Maybe I should hop over it. There we go. Damn, these people are hella dirty. Our life's all about cleaning trash. Oh, yeah. He wasn't lying when he said he had infinite lives. He just kind of takes it and reverts. Spawn point. Every door he comes into. All the junk is cleared. Oh. I love this music. I love customs. Especially while collecting the Some people will be like, how dare you disrespect the sanctity of the Vita? Yeah, nah, I know. The Beetle is the new car. I don't know. I drive a Chevy. I have a 2008 Chevy Trailblazer. It just doesn't want to let me have the trash. Oh, that was clean. This is how pumped I've been about wanting to play Super Mario Maker 2, so I'll be on that pretty soon. I just gotta get a capture card and I'll be ready to play. So look out for that game next, or who knows what game we'll have. I just got a couple other games too from Steam. I think that's it. Let's go. Is that
The
it?
old man was very happy with everything that I had cleaned. But I think Mr. Silton was even more happy with his mushrooms.
Mr. Silton was even more happy with his mushrooms. Yeah, I bet he was.
It wasn't the days getting shorter, or the evenings getting colder. It was the falling leaves that really made me feel sad. As we watched the trees blowing in the breeze, the old lady said, "The leaves must fall before the blossom comes." She had already explained the seasons to me, so for once, I actually understood. But it didn't make me feel any better. The old lady obviously had enough of my moping, and said, Right, next week we're going to have a party. For some reason she insisted that we were all going to wear costumes. Heather was very excited and said, "I've got some perfect ideas."
Okay. The little girl is a sadist.
It was terrifying. Everyone was dressed like someone else. I think I was meant to be some kind of pumpkin, as everyone kept shouting, "It's the Great Pumpkin." Still, at least Mr. Silton was having fun telling everyone
they had
his
to call him
joke.
the Great Pumpkin.
And I suppose Heather's costume was quite flattering. After what seemed like forever, everybody left, and things got back to normal. Heather was allowed to watch a scary film before she went to bed, but I had to help Alice and Mr. Deck clean up. I wasn't happy about this, but the old man said if I was quick, then I could watch the end of the film with them. Alice was vacuuming, and Mr. Deck was taking down the decorations, so I thought I should clean up the plates and glasses. The ear-splitting sound was the fire alarm. As usual, Mr. Deck blamed Mr. Silton, saying he was probably smoking one of his jazz cigarettes. But then the professor appeared. He said that there was something burning in the kitchen. Alice looked confused, saying that she hadn't cooked anything since the morning.
I know there's smoke
We
coming
were
out of his
all
room.
surprised when Mr. Deck opened the oven. Inside was a large black cloak and a slightly burnt pair of men's underwear. Suddenly the old lady burst in. She looked terrified. She kept shouting, "There's someone on the roof." When we went outside, it slowly became obvious that it was Mr. Silton. He was completely naked and playing his guitar. He shouted down, "When I finish this song, I'm going to fly." The old lady said, "Oh my God, I know this one. There's only about
When I
30
finish the
seconds
song,
left."
I'm going
The
to
old
fly.
man then quickly
Yeah.
turned to me and said, "You know what to do."
That old guy is crazy. Oh, I'm guessing I have to rock out to his song. Okay, I'm down. Let's see what we got. Let me see. Trying to finish it before the song's done. Something. Oh yeah, that's what he said. When this song is done, I'm going to jump. He's gonna jump. He's gonna do it. I ain't gonna make it. Okay, now I know that the music is a time limit. I almost said the word limit. I think it's because I think it's heavy second limit. Okay, speed around. Stop.
By the time I had made it up to the roof, Mr. Silton was beside the edge. I tried to calm him down, but he was acting even more bizarre than usual.
Oh, boy, he's tripping.
After an hour or so, Mr. Silton was fine. He said he had eaten some bad magic mushrooms. Part of me wondered why he hadn't doubled in size. Still, he was soon laughing and joking with the paramedics. One of them said he looked like the world's worst clown.
Are you
I
watching
don't think
Coco?
Mr. Silton
Alright.
liked that. So he told his own joke. But that just made the other paramedic call him Marshmallow Marso.
I see him.
I don't think he liked that either. But at least he was still in one piece. A month or so later, Heather and
Last
I were
adventure.
playing video games, when the old man said he wanted me to come outside. He said it had been a year since I had arrived, so he had a present for me.
Quote unquote Final Fantasy
He
reference.
placed the teddy bear high up on a wooden platform. He then told me I should try to pick it up.
Why did he do that? Okay. Let's go inside. It's obvious I can't. Oh wait, no. They're like, yeah, you should just like electrocute you.
Try as I might, I couldn't reach the teddy bear.
Okay.
However, I still don't understand what happened next.
Oh, my boy is gone. I think that might be too much gameplay. So the dude died. Does everybody move out? Nope. No one can access the horse. Bust him in the head. move. The music in this game is insane. I love it. Oh man. Oh, I love that game. The game's done.
Was I
That
dead?
was heavy, yo.
Was this heaven?
Was I dead?
It sort of looked like the basement bathroom.
Okay. Sorry if that was a bit too loud. Let me turn it back down. Okay.
It was the shoes the old man was going to give me. I thought I might as well put them on. They were just the right size. The old man's hat fit me pretty good as well. I'm sure he wouldn't mind if I wore it.
Nope.
Amazingly, the shoes allowed me to defy gravity.
Okay.
Or maybe it
that
was the
random.
hat.
That's cool. They went hard on the graphics. Whoa. That felt weird. I love it. Alright.
Part of the basement was flooded, and the stairs had collapsed. I didn't know what was going on, but I knew I wanted to get back upstairs.
Oh. Oh yeah, duh. I walk on the ceiling.
The gate was locked. I would need a key to open it. I had to be careful. The electricity was going haywire in some places.
It's a hole. Just jump. Oh. Oh yeah, cookies? Alright, that sounds good. Awesome. I love cookies. The cookies are the bomb. I think I finally got the sound perfect on the stream now.
I'm making that one pot chef's recipe.
Which one?
It's just a peanut butter, eggs, and sugar, but everybody in the comments section is fucking, you know what I mean? Like, you know, how they, like, put their life on it, like, nope,
Yeah.
not a mistake. You already know how
That's great. I can't believe it.
Yeah. And then somebody
It sucks. You
comes
can't
back.
believe I gotta go to the website.
Yeah.
How long had I
Sometimes
been
you know it's
asleep?
gonna be good
Months?
with a big old
Years?
fat animation.
I was so
Like,
confused. Where had everybody
yeah,
gone?
that's pretty true. Oh yeah, the air's on.
Oh, the air's on now? Thank you.
I really liked it when I was in there, but I was I'm gonna take one of the pens. Want to take this leg?
That's cool. I can go outside.
I was slightly scared. This was the first time I had been outside on my own.
That sounds good. That sounds good. I can eat now. Yeah. Hell yeah.
I knew what I had
Okay.
to do. This had to be my purpose. I would clean a million things, so I could become a
They're
real
really
boy,
gonna make me clean a million things.
whatever that meant.
I'm making it, see? Yeah.
I guess we gotta clean a million things. So I wonder if I shut down after I clean a million things. Either that or those cats.
The gate was locked. I would need a key to open it.
Well, before we clean a million things, I guess we should probably take a break. It's been about an hour since the stream started. So we're going to take a quick break. Get a little stretch in. Use the restroom real fast one. And we'll be right back. Okay, now you guys can hear me. What's up? What's up? Yeah, I've really enjoyed this game so far. Let's see what happens next. All right. Oop. Mic check in the background. All right. Here we are. There we go. This is how we keep that mic check volume control on. Oh, wait. My tip jar is gone. Y'all know I can't play without my tip jar. There we go. Yeah. I don't receive tips right now, but I really do like using the jar. It's pretty cool. I like it as an aesthetic, so you know, it's a reminder that, hey man, I like it as an aesthetic. All right. I bet you I've been playing the whole time without my tip jar. I think it's cool. I just like the aesthetics of everything. Like, pretty sick. I think it's cool. I just like the aesthetics of everything. All right. Oh, I was wondering what that sound was. Yeah. Sora, could you give Daddy the remote, please? Thank you. Okay. Oh yeah, we can go to the ceiling now. Gravity. Oh, here's my kombucha. Only got a little left. That was an interesting drink. Whew. That was actually a good kombucha. My girl got a kombucha. There was a green one, like a green something. But that thing tasted like vinegar, hardcore, like whoa, out your face, vinegar, cough out a lung style. I don't know, but yeah. Alright. It's time to collect 1 million trash. I remember that's what we were doing. Sora. Hi.
Hi.
How you doing? Hey. I'm waving to my son. He loves it. He loves this stream stuff. I do too. But yeah, Don't forget to follow and get notified when I go live. I'm about to be playing all kinds of new games. We're gonna have the new stuff. You can come see it right here. I'm surprised Twitch hasn't made a channel for it. They gotta make one.
I was surprised to see an old man, but not as surprised as he was. It turned out he was blind. He was kneeling on the floor with his hand in a drain. When I asked him what he was doing, he said his cat had crawled into the pipes, and he was trying to get her out. He was very happy when I offered to help. He said there was no way we could reach her from here, so if I was willing, I could make my way through the sewers and get her from the other end. He said he would turn off the water for as long as possible, but I would have to run, as the pipes would soon fill up again. I happily agreed. So he gave me a key. He said this will open all the sewer gates. Go through here, then down the ladder, and through the big door at the bottom.
Gary Gamelli. Jazz is cool. They cleared all his junk. Is that junk? Can we talk to the old guy again? It's outside. We gotta clear his basement now. No entry, huh? I like no entries.
I better run.
Oh no! Oh, the trash! Oh! Get the trash, dude! Man, this guy's obsession with trash is killing him.
I better run.
I'm even getting told to run. Oh man, come on. Oh, the trash. Okay. Oh, here we go. All right, we did it, pal. Oh, wow. Oh, I got tricked. That was cool. I like first playthroughs. They're sick. There you go. Jeez. Oh man, what am I doing? I'm not even paying attention. There we go. Here we go. Oh, that was water. Alright, here we go. There! It's like I'm getting one piece of trash at a time. Come on. One skills. Oh! Skills to the sparks. Yes! Oh wow. Just to get screwed over again. Okay. First you don't succeed. Jump and jump again. Man. I'm metal, I can't get electrocuted, I can't. I wonder if I can withstand fire. I doubt it. No, I couldn't. Remember in the beginning, I couldn't even withstand lava pillows. Oh, man. so noobing out. Oh. Come on. Yes. We did that. Finally. It was oh! Okay, we're going back up. I was gonna say it was the inspiration from the same end, but yeah. We need another inspiration here. Oh man, what's going on? I know there's a piece of trash there. I'm supposed to jump down there. Yep, there we go. Oh, we got the trash. We just had to die for it. Yeah, I think I do throw the trash. Oh. Come on, go. Go. Go, bro. Oh. Close call. I think we got this now. We got it. We got it. Here we go. Yep. Oh. Oh. You got a little excited there. See? That's why you gotta focus. Come on. Oh, that's not fair. Come on. You can do it, man. You're the robot man of the century. Everybody wants you. Yes. Yeah.
I found the old man's cat. She was fine, if a little confused.
Ah.
I was horrified. It looked like me, but it shambled around like something from the film we watched on Halloween.
Hope you guys don't mind if I eat a little center. Wow, that's crazy. They turned me into a villain. I was gonna say, what, can I use the cat as a weapon? Throw it at it? Like that one girl streamer who threw her cat and now everyone's mad at? Oh man, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to touch that. I just seen that and I'm like, man. And then I think she gave it some vodka? I mean, the cat looks like it's got a pretty nice home and all. I mean, you really shouldn't be treating your cat like that, but kind of hard, yeah, when someone like it's like that with a cat and they like treat them really well and take care of them. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think in the comments. I really don't know if you're mad or happy that she's got a close relationship with her cat, but oh man, looks like I'm taking this cat and killing her. I don't know. Oh man, yeah, I got fooled by this cat. This time I told me a cat. Cat's like, what are you doing? I thought you went through here. I did, but I'm a knucklehead. I don't know where I'm going. First playthrough and all. I'm still having a ball. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm having a great time. Get that parkour. Get that parkour. Whew. Oh, where did that lead? What happens if I jump on him? Ah, he shocks me. Ah, that's very shocking. Let's replenish our energy. I could have sworn this door took me all the way around there. So what's going on here? Which way do we gotta go? They got me between two wet places. Ah, here we are. Here's his cat. I was looking for
The
his
man
cat.
was happy to have his cat back. He looked so content with her sat on his lap. I told him about the thing I saw, But he just
Can I have
laughed
some
and
hot sauce,
said,
please?
"Those bastard
This would
robots,
taste
they're
perfect
always
with
getting up
Tabasco,
through
yeah.
the pipes.
Oh yeah, there you
Don't worry though, it'll never get through the big doors. If I had my way, we'd have blown up the lot of them when we had the chance."
go.
I wasn't sure what he meant, but I decided now wouldn't be the best time to tell him I was a robot. The man laughed and said, "Don't worry, I know who you are," and told me that he knew the old man. As we chatted, the man brewed himself some tea. He said that he had worked for the old man. In fact, he had lost his sight in one of the old man's factories. Strangely, he smiled at this thought. "He always did me right," he said. "When I had my accident, the old man said he would look after me,
You always
and
did
he
me right.
did. He always made sure I had enough money, and he let me move into this old pumping station on his land.
That's cool.
Which reminds me,
This is
I have
scary,
something
guy.
here for you." He rummaged around behind a cupboard. Then he continued saying, "The old man wanted you to have this when you were old enough, but fate wouldn't allow it." He passed me a large box. It was empty. I thought about pretending to be excited, but the man said, "Wait a minute, it's empty, isn't it?" He slumped back in his chair. "I was robbed a few months ago," he said, almost in a whisper.
I'm gonna reheat
"It's
some
strange, they took practically anything metal, but left loads of food and a brand new saxophone." The man looked sad, so I thought I would try to change the subject. I told him about my quest to clean a million things. This at least made him smile. He said I was welcome to go back through the pipes any time I wanted, as there were loads of old things in there that could be cleaned away.
Okay. Oh, that's spicy. Okay, I got his cat. Keep going down. Yeah. Get all the garbage. Looks like I need a key to go in there. Nope, looks like I had a key. Oh, it's an arm. I think it's an arm. You guys hoarding any trash over here? Just a door. Oh, some basketball. I play basketball. Huh? No? What? No. That's so much worse. I got 3 basketballs here. I don't know what to do with them. I think there might be a game or something.
The gate was locked. I would need a key to open it.
Oh. Oh, water. I wish I can climb that. I see an ledge though. Oh. I'm gonna make that jump. Oh, maybe. Or maybe not. You sure you had enough in there? Because I swear I didn't have any. I don't think my nana would eat it. Do you think so? Really?
And I know you didn't eat it, but
That was barbecue. Oh, there's a big old rocket tip there. Okay, they're in there. You can't eat stuff like that. He just does it anyway. I'm sorry. That's what happened. Yeah. Rare. It's like a treat. That's why I don't mind getting it for us. Exactly. Gave me a key that can open all the locks. Yeah, I'm glad I don't have to keep looking at the keys. Yeah, they're like, no, we can't. There we go. Oh, I missed that. Oh. Door. Oh, water. It's on the other side, nothing. Another door. What place is this? Yeah. This place is kind of confusing after a while, especially with all the secret doors. What's that? It's gonna bother me. Oh! God. Start me over. You know, last place I spawned, I was like, dang it. It's not cool, y'all. I don't know how to open this door. That's my problem. I wonder if I got picked up like an upgrade or something. No, nothing. I got shoes. There's gotta be something in there. Maybe that's why it comes back out this way. Just send me back out to the front. Maybe there's something else I need to go up there. What the hell is yelling? Oh! Oh, they're in the house. Now, hold on, I'm picking up trash.
The screaming was coming from one of the bedrooms, but the stairs were blocked by a wall of fire.
Poor guys, oh dang. Okay, come on. Are they in that room? Check the room. Where are they? You guys don't have any trash? Looking around like, oh. Okay, no, they're here. They're probably upstairs. First bedroom.
People screaming turned out to be a man, a woman, and their children. They were confused and terrified.
Of course they were confused and
At
terrified.
first the man looked like he was ready to fight me, but after
He
I
won't fight.
convinced them that I was there to help, he calmed down. There was no way I could carry them all at once, so the children went first.
Okay. These people were
I
screaming hell
dropped
for a
the
really
children
long
off at
time.
the front door and promised them that I would be back with their parents.
Oh, there was a lot of boom. Can't go back in there. Oh, I ran straight into it. Nope, I'm not fireproof. I actually tested that theory just now. I was like, I wonder if I could die if I got burned with fire. I can't get wet, I can't get burned, I can't get
The
thunderstorm.
fire was getting much worse, so the woman went next.
Of course the woman went next. The manliest thing to do. Save the women and children first. Oh, then we all died. Does that mean I can just jump here? Yep. I'm going the hard way.
When we got to the front door, all the woman said was, "Thank you. Please hurry."
Hurry up. Oh, I can't. Can't go in there. Maybe we're here. Oh, yep. Floor blew out. Oh, and I still died. I died every single time I came in. I'm so new to me right now. Oh! Fail army status. My
By the
boy's
time I
choking.
managed to get back, the man was unconscious. I had to pick him up quickly, as I could tell the house was going to collapse at any moment.
Big dude. Whoa. His feet are dragging. Whoa. You don't want him to get hit by the spark. That's the all spark. Can't even jump with it. Nope, and we ran out of time. Yep.
Their face.
Their faces were like, wow.
Like, oh.
Oh, yeah, he did. He survived.
I took it.
I helped the family set up a tent so they had somewhere to stay. The kids were excited as they got the camp outside, but I think they knew they had just lost their home. When I mentioned my quest to clean a million things, the man said I should look through the rubble of the house, as they had no use for it. So, when everyone was making dinner, I looked through the wreckage. There wasn't anything I could clean, but to my astonishment, I found a TV set and a games console.
Yeah.
With a bit of fiddling I was able to get them to work.
My boy got him
So
a
I
console.
sat playing games with the kids until their parents said it was bedtime. As we talked, the man opened a bottle of wine. I asked what had happened, why was everything so ruined? The man looked at the woman, then the woman sighed and said, "There was a war." "Yes, a war," said the man. One side of the planet attacked the other, and before we knew, it was all over. Everything gone. Everything destroyed.
Do I look funny? Let me see here.
Well, it's late, said the woman. We should really get some sleep. Help yourself to anything you need, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Hi, babe. I love you. Hi, son. I love you too.
In
That
the
was a shout out to
morning,
my
I
family.
asked the man if he knew what had caused the fire that had destroyed their house. The man smiled. Crap old house, bad wiring, constant electrical surges from the unreliable power plant. Take your pick.
Wow.
He said, if we had the money, we'd move to the mainland. But we can barely
moved
feed
to the
ourselves, let alone buy a new house, so for now we're left here with the rest of the scum. But he did say I should head to the mainland, as there would be plenty there for me to clean, and a better quality of rubbish. The man said, Before the war, my lovely wife used to be
That's
a
what I
fisherman.
want.
Fisherwoman.
Better
Fishing
quality
person.
rubbish.
I used to catch fish, interrupted the woman, and, seeing as you saved us all from the fiery end, maybe you would like to borrow my boat to get to the mainland. I was a little scared, but then they gave me some captain software and I was an old salty sea dog within minutes.
Captain software.
She just keeps it on him.
Parahandy.
Here's a robot. I also mentioned I'm a Russian software engineer.
Right?
That's the only time shit like that happens. In Europe.
This is her boat. My boat now.
I took the
That's
fisherman's boat to the mainland.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Because people just give their boat to me.
The fisherman was right. Everything was in pieces. Everything had been destroyed.
That was a big old war.
I docked the boat in some ruins. They must have once been a town.
Land ho. Do you have any water, babe?
I thought you were supposed to make some more.
Thank you. It's okay. Water is sweet. The sweet nectar of life. Thank you. We got 2,000 junk collected. That's a lot of junk. I wonder what he does with it. Does he eat it? Does he send it into a black hole of time warped space and then comes back and eats it? Maybe he just eats it. Maybe just one. This is not making any sense to me. Oh, excuse me. Let's just navigate it up that way. Sick. I like these gravity boots. Imagine if we all had gravity boots.
I wasn't sure what to do with this machine. The huge door was sealed shut. I wasn't sure how to get inside.
I like how they tell you how to be sure about things. Thank you, my son. Oh. Excuse me, you guys. Just finishing lunch. Got a long night at work tonight. Okay. There's no more kombucha. It's blue water. Alright, here we go. Where are we going now? Oh, this way. I can't get through this door.
I wasn't sure what to do with this machine.
Okay. think I fell off the planet. That's hilarious. My gravity boots, they work completely against me. Yes.
It's like, oh no.
Gravity kept pulling. Like, what do you think is going to happen if gravity boots just jump sideways?
You know, that makes a ton of sense.
If you were on the side of a house and you jumped and you were being pulled one way, if you went straight that way,
You literally would go to wherever the gravity's at. Like,
there's trash in this water.
oh, this is Hong Kong. No.
Right?
Ocean Joe.
I wonder if I can make that jump. I highly doubt it. Okay. Ah. That'd be nuts. If everything's electrified. This is like supposed to be post-apocalyptic.
They say the same far off from what future. And they say it's not.
That's
It's
sad.
not. It's not.
Junk is cleared. Okay. Oh, excuse me.
I was confronted by a lovable fat old dog. He almost looked pleased to see me.
Why'd he call him a fat old dog?
Suddenly, 3 men appeared holding large guns. Or at least 2 men and what looked to be a pregnant woman. Incredibly, it was Mr. Silton.
It's Mr.
I
Silton.
thought you'd been shut down, he said. I mean, it's been years. I'm not really sure what happened, I replied. I then told him
Yeah.
about me cleaning a million things. He laughed and said, nothing changes. He then showed me into what was surprisingly a really nice house. Please excuse my husband, said the pregnant lady. I'm Edwina, but everyone calls me Eddie.
Where's the daughter?
I believe you know this idiot. And that's Preston. We've met, said the small man. It was me that delivered that thing, remember? All you used to deliver was weed, mumbled Mr. Silton as he put the dog dish on the floor. And I was there that night, when this twat was off his face on mushrooms. Thanks for letting me and the dog stay, by the way. Yeah, well, we like the dog,
These
said
people are
Mrs. Silton.
crazy.
And I suppose I've got you to thank for us meeting.
You're
What were
right.
you giving Barry those dodgy magic mushrooms? She pulled out an old photograph. It was one that Heather had taken the night I had saved Mr. Silton.
Yeah. That's when he was on mushrooms and he thought I was tripping out and I was like a giant. You'll see. If you play it from the beginning, you'll see what happened.
It reminded me of everyone else, so I asked what had happened to them. Mr. Silton said Alice had a small place in the countryside. The professor had holed up in one of the old man's factories. Mr. Deck was, believe it or not, now a presenter on the only state television channel. And Heather and
The
her mother
only
lived on
channel.
a government compound where they both worked. I asked about the old man, surprised that Mr. Silton hadn't mentioned him. He's dead, said Mr. Silton. Sorry, I thought you knew. Anyway,
Barely
said
finding
Mr.
out that he
Preston,
died.
I thought you said that robot thing found the mushrooms
That
for
was
you
sad. That was
in
a
that
sad
old
story
manky
at the
old
beginning.
barn.
It's getting
Mr.
better.
Silton looked embarrassed. Well, said Mrs. Silton, I guess we've got you to thank for getting us together then. Time for bed, I think, said Mr. Silton. Make yourself comfy, and we'll see you in the morning.
Oh, I'm flying. Oh, I'm supposed to go to him? I'm coming. Whoa. I look like I have blonde hair. Oh, we're in heaven. The face he makes when he's going down. No, come back, old man. Okay. That was heavy.
My webtoon comic is available for reading.
The next day, I thought it might be a good time to ask about the war. Judging by the look on everyone's faces, it wasn't. Well, the war, said Mr. Silton. Barry interrupted his wife. Can I see you for a minute? And dragged Mr. Silton out of the room, leaving me with Mr. Preston. All of a sudden, Mr. Silton appeared. How about a tune-up, he said.
2 more hours.
Mrs. Silton started to make some food, and Mr. Preston was playing with the dog, leaving me to chat with Mr. Silton. I said that I really wanted to see everyone else, but Mr. Silton said that it wouldn't be that easy. Traveling now, especially for a robot, is complicated. Go back to the house, you could even do some cleaning. Wait there and I'll work out a way to get you to each of them. I told him that I couldn't get into the main house because the hallway ceiling had collapsed. I have just the thing, said Mr. Silton, as he pulled some sort of card out of his pocket. If you can get into the caves under the house, you can use this security pass to get into the old man's laboratories. You can get into the main house that way. I was so excited, I would be able to get back into my old room. I said thanks, and made my way to the front door. Also, I think you might be able to help us out, said Mr. Silton, but we'll meet up back at the old man's house in a couple of days. You head there and we'll see you soon.
That was cool. Okay. Man, too bad I couldn't go underwater yet. Maybe it's an upgrade. Oh, I should try to turn sideways and jump off the ledge. Let's see what happens. Watch me fall off the earth again. Yep.
Yummy, yummy.
The irony. I'm gonna take a picture of that. Okay. So much for invincible, what is that? A million lives, or an infinite lives. Maybe I can go through the door now. Oh. I don't get electrocuted.
The huge door was sealed shut. I wasn't sure how to get inside. I wasn't sure what to do with this machine.
Hey, son. What you doing? You playing with your Ryan toys? That's so cool. Go on, buddy. Go play. No, I cleared this room already. So where do I go now? I made my way back into the old man's house using a security pass. I would be able to enter through the basement. Okay. I guess we're going back to the old man's house then. Oh, I was not ready for that. The gravity lift can be a curse word.
I took the fisherman's boat to the old man's estate.
Oh, those people are still here, yeah? Can I go inside? No? Should be able to get into the basement. Oh, this is where I started. Oh, water. I was already in this basement, though. Oh, this one. This was a huge, crazy basement. So-
And let me ask you a question. You know, how are you gonna arrest the whole world and defend pretty much defend the corporate agenda as they continue to waste money and do all these things that don't need to be done?
Right?
Pretty much putting them on the spot very easily. As
That's good. That's what they need to hear. It's messed up too because they're so selfish that they don't even care. Like they'll know they're wrong inside and not even get it in. Exactly. We'll arrest everyone. Exactly.
It's like,
Is it this thing?
As I walked through the old church ruins, I was surprised to hear Mr. Silton calling me. He said he had forgotten to give me something, and the church's community hall would be the perfect place to try it out. As soon as we walked into the hall, Mr. Silton
Bless you,
said
son.
he had a present for me. It was a pair of Atlas gloves.
Oh, he gave me a
They
pair of
made me
Atlas
think of the old
gloves.
blind man with
Yeah.
the cat and his stolen Atlas gloves. I wonder if Mr. Silton knew how lucky he was to still have them with a glove thief around. Mr. Silton asked me to try the gloves on and start chucking things around. But not him. He was very clear about that. Mr. Silton suggested we clean the hall. Of course I knew when he said we, he meant me. But I was happy to try out my new gloves. He said I should clear everything off of the basketball court and put the things on the floor either side. I fiddled with the settings for a bit, but when Mr. Silton saw I was having trouble, he fished a small manual out of the box. He explained that pressing down and X would pick a thing up. X would then throw the thing, and if I wanted to place it on the floor, I should again press down and X. He looked more and more confused as he read all this, but eventually he finished by saying, "Well, I hope that made more sense to you than it did to me."
I get to throw stuff now. Can't lift that. Yeah. Ah. Cool, I can throw stuff. Something over here or something, dude? think I have to clear the floor? I think I just threw a baby Jesus. Oh. Ah. Really? I can't even have no one jump up? I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing here. Can't go to the door. No. Ignore everything. Oh, what? Yeah. I gotta be careful too, because if I die, I gotta start again. Cause I gotta put all the stuff over by the guy again. Thank you. Come on. And baby Jesus is right there by the thunder too. Oh, I got him. Oh. Freaking manger. Yeah, there's other John. Oh. That it? Is that enough?
Let's see what else these gloves can do. said Mr. Silton as he flipped through the manual. He actually looked quite excited when he explained that holding X while walking into or under a falling thing would allow me to catch it. I must admit, I was then really happy when he suggested we make it a game, and I tried to catch 10 basketballs.
Gotta land 10. Oh, I'm getting good at this. Come on. Throw me another one. Oh, that would have been sick. Ah!
Next, Mr. Silton suggested we make it a real game and see how quickly I could score 10 baskets. I enjoyed this so much. It felt just like the good old days.
It's okay.
Except Mr.
Oh, I got hit
Silton
in the
wasn't
head.
as forgiving as the old man.
Okay. He just wants me to make 10. Not bad. What about that one? Ah! Broken headboard too, that's what I'm talking about. A little too short. A little too much. Man, that's all not good as well.
When I'd scored 10 baskets, Mr. Silton gave me what he called a high five. He said I now knew everything about the gloves and I should be able to continue through the basement of the church into the house. When I asked him if he was coming with me, he just laughed and said they would catch up with me in the main hall.
That was all a tutorial about how to use the gloves. I won't be in here without scoring. That's no problem. I know, right? Okay, well, before we come and collect more cars, it's been about another hour, so due for another stretch break. It's good to take a break every hour or so, look off at least 15 feet or more into the distance, because, you know, your eyes gotta recalibrate. I'll take a step outside and stretch a bit. Yes, you can see. Be right back right after this. 15 minutes. Oh, man. My eyes. I need to wash my face. good thing any of y'all didn't hear any of that. That was pretty loud. Anyway, we're back. I went and got some cherry pie. It's a good thing any of y'all didn't hear any of that. That was really loud, but okay. Let's do this. Oh. We're just having a good day. I can make you one in a cup later. Oh, did I get the car at the last minute? I think so. Oh. Come on. He looks so angry. My boy, he looks just so sad. He looks like he wants to sing the blues. I got the car though. Yeah. Oh, 1 point. They made it pretty challenging. I like the challenge. The challenge is something to look forward to. Oh, excuse me. I need to get this stuff away. Well, at least we know exactly how we died. Oh. Thought I could walk on the ledge there. But I guess we can't.
I was stood in a gigantic cavern. When I looked down, I was horrified to see hundreds of corpses of those things.
Oh.
As horrible as it sounds, my stepdad Chip said they were things to clean. So clean them I would.
Gotta clean them, huh? Said the junk was cleared. There's more over here.
That must be the door Mr. Silton talked about.
Fourth, we got 40,000 junk collected. All junk cleared.
The door was exactly as Mr. Silton had described it. I just hoped that the card he had given me was the security key and not just some backstage pass. Well, it opened the door, but soon an alarm went off.
Uh-oh.
Something caught my eye. It was a small yellow sphere. The book next to it explained that it was a shield that would automatically take a hit for me when activated. The Y button took the shield in and out of storage, meaning I could save it for when the going got tough. It seemed that I started with 2 slots to carry shields, but I could upgrade to be able to carry more. If both I and the shield died in the same room, the Lazarus chip would bring us both back. It's almost as if the shield needed its sacrifice to mean something. It felt like a true friend, proving that even the simplest of faces can bring out an emotional reaction.
Okay. I think he's trying to say we have a shield now. Oh, 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 oh! I killed my shield already. Dang it. I didn't take account for when I went to hit the ceiling. That's okay. I think I missed where I was supposed to do that. Maybe not. There we go. Yeah, I got another shield. Can I have another? Oh, I can have a couple shields. Just two. That's good. Finding floppy disk everywhere. Oh, that was heavy. Oh, that phase is getting out. Oh! Okay. Still cleaning junk. Alright, we got all the junk. Hey, it's my training run. Oh!
Something literally caught my eye. I remembered the old man had installed some software that helped show me things that were interactive, and how to interact with them. This must be what he was talking about. The electron gun blew the power. I needed to turn it back on before I could fire again.
Oh! Oh, man. Oh, boss match. First thing that happened was that shot. Oh, I got Jim's power back on. Okay. I got you. Oh. Mr. Boss Man. Oh. Boss match ended. I was tired, I got my first boss.
This seemed quite valuable. Now, this was clearly worth something.
That was a crazy boss match.
The video recorder's blinking light caught my eye. It must have been years since I had seen a film or TV show. Maybe I could take a little break from my quest and watch the film on the tape. As the video started, I was surprised to see the old man. "Hello, hello," he bellowed in his familiar tone. "This is test number, 107C. he continued as he read from a clipboard. This unit still has 3 major issues. 1. The shell is so incredibly thick that the whole machine is still far too large and heavy. 2. The missile system is too unpredictable and aggressive. And 3. The trade-off between power and intelligence is far too great. I think the military capabilities would be far too dangerous in the wrong hands. I think we would be best to push forward with the Innocence Project. I didn't really understand a word of what he said, and I was slightly disappointed that he had recorded over the film, but it was nice to see the old man's face again.
It was like, man, I used to look at you all the time, and now I have to look at you again when I want to watch a movie. Okay.
I wasn't sure what was going on, but suddenly, inanimate objects started to come to life.
Alright. I wasn't sure what was going on. All of a sudden, inanimate objects started to come to life. Oh, it can kill me. Ah. Oh. How do you kill a blind box? Maybe I just run for the hills. Sometimes running is man, there's all kinds of action. That was John. Those are scissors. And some rock break scissors. Sure. Oh. Or not. Oh, it's a moose head. It's alive. Rails and stuff. Freaking hammer. Come on, hammer man. Yeah! Oh, I missed. There we go. Oh, I grabbed it and got electrocuted. Oh yeah, that thing doesn't have gravity boots. fair. I'm guessing I can't go on this. Boom. Come on. Not that a fly. I know that would happen. Here, here. Oh, we did that. That was sick. Anyway. What's at the bottom there? Nothing. Nothing but death. What? Oh, nothing but death there also. These guys are good. Oh, oh, oh.
I should try picking that up.
Alright, that's what we can do with this. We can pick it up. Now I can get to that one other place I can use. Oh. Sorry, little buddy. Those little things don't last long. Come on, new player. What was that? That looks like a PCR. I got busted at VCRs and stuff. It's so funny. Let's see what we got. Old school cell phone. Oh, water. Water to the face. Looked like I forgot something. Oh, never mind. Oh, all these inanimate objects are like alive, dude. It's kind of funny. Oh, I can hop on that. Water. Oh. Right before the drill. No pun intended. the distance in the jump. Well, right here though. There we go. Good body. I like that. Give me life. Sorry. I like how the music is funky and play a lot of classical music. Oh, the head died. The little head died. Oh no, no, I died. So again, we're letting the little head die. Oh wow. Little head didn't even take one for the team that time. He's like, no, I can't take water from anybody. These guys are good. They make you press up on a chain and they gotta come. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, really. See what happens when you get ahead of yourself. Never try to get ahead of yourself. It will kill you. Oh. I'm really donking at the chain. Oh. Dang, that was hard. Gotta try to relax the fingers. That's not creepy. Oh. I like how his ties is going in the direction of gravity. He's literally on the roof somewhere. Trying to dodge all these things, trying to kill him. This epic obstacle course. Yeah, it's pretty fun. I wonder if I can beat it. Oh! That's silly. When those ceilings are too close, they get me every time. Oh wow.
Batteries come in all shapes and sizes.
Batteries come in all shapes and sizes, huh? You're right about that, pal. Oh, dang, this thing's weighing me down. Oh, that's nuts. Oh, I can jump higher now. Oh, dang. Oh, I was having too much fun. That was insane. I like that game mechanic. I've never seen that used before. Come on. Ugh. It feels heavy just trying to push it. Push it real good. My wife's looking at me like, okay. I'm playing Benjamin Hitcher now. Come on. Alright, got the battery in. Elevator 1 damaged. Thank you. I guess I'm climbing chains. Did you just call Horace a stripper? I told my wife Horace was climbing chains and she said he's a stripper. Huh. Yeah, I guess so. He's a robotic stripper. Here to please me, babe. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, wow. Oh, man. This is good. It's tough. Combo Ryan? Yeah. Oh, man. Look, oh, they give me a little head. Here, have a head. Can I kill it? I gotta wait for that thing to come. I just realized that. No, 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 don't leave me. No! Can't think they're funny. The creators of the game think they're funny, but just cleaning up all the trash.
Seeing another VCR made me wonder if there were any more recordings of the old man. I rummaged behind the TV and was not surprised to find 2 more dusty old tapes. One just had hours of some strange sport.
Wrestling. Or gymnastics.
But the other had a recording of the old man. Hello, hello, came his voice again. Right, this is urgent. Cancel the nanobot program immediately. All production to be stopped. Contain the remaining units in these corrosion-proof canisters.
Oh.
Although I'm sure it's obvious, the old man continued. We have discovered that they are essentially unstoppable and can form a controlling intelligence around any object.
things they dance
Need
when they
I say
hear
more?
music.
Well, at least that explained why everything moved with minds of their own. I'd never been in this part of the house before, but I figured I would get back to more familiar surroundings once I made it through these laboratories.
Story is insane. Oh, pretty sure I got really far just now. This is where I was made. What? What was that? Oh, no. Oh, man. Okay, another boss match. Right on. Holy dang. 4 of us to you. Pull out of that. Oh. The grounding cover is pretty hard to count. Oh, still got me. Oh, you got my foot. Sure. Alright, when I start to Oh. Okay. That was very dramatic. Just want to shoot some hoops, man. See what I'm saying? I am. Guessing I can't go down there. Can't even jump on this iron container. Wood saw is going through that iron. Oh man, it got me. Sliced my head open. I can't wait till I can have the microphone off my head, you guys. Pretty soon it will sound a lot. Oh! You're gonna use my headphones? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna die. Oh, I wonder if I can go underneath it. Let's try. Let's go backwards. This is simple. Oh, kind of. Is that even a word? Simpler? Simpler is not a word. Somebody's got to make simpler a word.
I needed to get back on the moving lift.
Something can only become more simple? Oh! Simpler.
There's all kinds of versions. Like
But what if people know what you mean? Not being sad, you are sad? That's sad. Oh, it's just being sad, like, no, you are sad, like, yeah, it's okay, right? No, it's good, because a lot of people don't learn grammar very well. This is just because they were trying to, like, meet her on a friendly level. Oh my goodness! left me. You have to stay with the plate wherever it leads you. Play this little plate, a little challenge. Oh. Huh? Oh, right on, baby. Are you streaming, Andy? Sorry. I gotta wait for the thing to fall. It's gonna come back. Alice is messed up. I think it's just because they gave her a woman's body. That's why you think she's hot. I think she looks like a maniac. She looks like she's what the Joker was trying to do. He says so. You gotta reactivate it. Nope, you have to come and reactivate this thing. Grab my little ball. It's like, okay then bye. See if you can survive on your own. I will, little ball. I will survive. And I will be making fun of you from here while you stay behind. It's over there looking at me like, well, see you when you respawn. Oh man. These dungeons are like brutal. They're like torture dungeons. Ah. Brutal. Oh man. You're paying attention. Split second to take your eye out. But they gave me 2. So I died so much. Come on, little guys. Do that. Dang it. Dang it. Come on, no, let me go. That sucks. Dang, I hate it. Oh man, right when I get it. I'll die. Oh yeah, your faces! Those are a bunch of blades just swinging around in front of me like, oh, please. Better be a little head in here. Of course I would. 4-year-old.
The door was nailed shut, and my fingers were too large to get a decent grip on the planks. I needed something like a crowbar.
Oh, that was sick. Ah, good enough. I did it like a junior boss. Did it again, luckily. All the junk is cleared. What was that? Boots? There's living boots here, babe. Oh. I don't know what's going on with that, but we'll come back to it. These are made for walking. I did not know that.
The door was nailed shut, and my fingers were too large to get a decent grip on the planks. I needed something like a crowbar. The door was nailed shut, and my fingers were too large to get a decent grip on the planks. I needed something like a crowbar.
Something here that
My shoes struggled to grip the slippery wall. I'd need to keep jumping to climb it.
Dang oil wall. Yeah. This. And I got booted by magic boots. Getting booted by magic boots. Wow. Outside. I don't want to kick it with these boots. I have my own boots. Would you tell me a story about boots, babe? Wow, that story sucks. Yeah, that's pretty nerve-wracking. You're let down by boots. It was dogs. Making boots. That was a good story. Man, these boots. Thank you. Finally getting this hate who created these magic boots. In your face, boots! And I cleared all the junk. Oh!
No, chuckled Mr. Silton. It's all right, we'll claim it on the insurance as accidental damage. Get me a new TV as well. I explained to them that I had found some of the old man's home videos, and the contents had shocked me. The dirty old bugger, interrupted Mr. Silton. But I didn't know what he meant, so I continued explaining about the nanobots, and Mr. Silton said we needed to get our sharpest minds on the case. Not you dipshit, he barked at Mr. Preston. We need to rescue Heather and her mum. I wasn't sure what Mr. Silton meant by rescue, but I thought I would leave them to clear up. The weather felt cold and ominous as we made our way back outside. Before we meet the others, I need you to help me get my stolen van back, explained Mr. Silton. It's going to be dangerous, and we need someone dependable. The equipment was heavy, but I was happy to help pack the large boxes until Preston returned with what Mr. Silton called the mean machine.
The mean machine. That's a milk truck. And it's almost 5, chapter 5, Mr. Silton's van.
Mr. Preston seemed even more anxious than usual. At first I thought he just needed to use a toilet, but Mr. Silton explained that their old gang members lived around here. Somehow the money went missing when we robbed that post office, he continued. For some reason they thought we'd taken it, but, as he put it, why would we live in such a dump if we had a load of money? Although this clarified things for me, it certainly didn't calm Mr. Preston, who suggested we gotta move on. Don't worry, we'll be a matter of minutes. We just need to send Mr. Chips up there to have a look, said Mr. Silton as he pointed to a window high up the building. Go on, he said with a smile. Off you go then.
Looks like there's a lot more upgrades we can get at the bottom. We've only got the shoes and the glove. Got all like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It probably gets crazy. Probably get all kinds of crazy upgrades in the game. The story is really heavy. That's cool. I think we'll go ahead and end the stream right there. So, yeah, that was fun. I can't wait to stream some more of this game and some of the other games that I got already too. Still be streaming Final Fantasy, but we're going to spread it out for a little bit. Anyway, I hope the new green screen is cool and it's been working great the whole time. Let me see. Quit to return. Should have saved me there. Let me see. Yeah, chapter 5. Outside the repo yard. We did 5 chapters today. That's not a bad thing. I like all the classic music they put in it. I think it's really good. Even this song. All right. So thanks again, you guys, for tuning in, checking me out and hanging out. I hope we get to check out more stuff soon. The mic should probably sound a lot better soon because I got one coming in the mail. It's supposed to be one of the ones they use for your computer desk. So we'll see how that goes. Other than that, I'm just going to hang out, watch shows with the family. Thanks for tuning in. It's always a pleasure getting you guys to watch me and check me out and support the stream. Don't forget to follow and get notified when I go live, you know what I mean? So I might have a new game, or I might have something set up next. In about 2 more or 3 more weeks, I should have my capture card set up for the Nintendo Switch, and then I should be able to get it on my PS4 also. So we'll be able to add more content to the stream as time goes on. You know, we've only been streaming for like a couple months, but we'll get there. We're doing okay. But all right, y'all have a great day. Take it easy. Peace.